Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hancock with Beyond You Coaching. Relationships are a fundamental aspect to our existence. From the time we are born to the time we've grown to be self-sufficient adults, we rely on human interaction and care in order to survive. The foundation to how we relate to others is largely created through childhood and continues to expand and grow as we reach into young adulthood, middle age, and on with the rest of our lives. As we continue to grow, our relationship needs change and often mirror our inner worlds. Today, I want to talk about dealing with various challenges and issues in human relationships and discovering what can be done about them. Is the problem them, you, or both? Whatever the nature of the relationship, somewhere along the way, people have become unhappy. If we were to look deeper at the nature of our relationship, we would understand that we are unhappy because what we expected to happen is not happening. You can experiment and investigate this for yourself. Take a moment to think about a recent situation with a person that you've had difficulty with. Ask yourself the following 4 questions. 1. Where or how did this person disappoint me? 2. How would I have liked them to act? 3. Has this person ever disappointed me in this way before? If yes, how? And 4. Where might this person have acted this way with other people? What are some other examples that I know of? By asking these questions, we are investigating exactly what it is that we would have liked to have happen and where this person might have disappointed us or other people before. This helps us to see the situation from a broader perspective and be aware of patterns of behavior. Patterns of behavior are largely unconscious and are caused by karmic tendencies and compulsions from the past. Now let's step back for a moment. When we talk about relationships, we tend to think of ourselves as the center of the universe and that everything that is said or done is a personal act to or against us. This is how most people tend to see their world if they are not aware or have not broadened their perception levels. However, in reality, nothing is ever personal. I am always reminded of the book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The second agreement in this book is, don't take anything personally. This is a great agreement to remember in all your interactions with people. Nothing other people do is because of you. People are acting in the best way they know how, with the knowledge that they have, and under the circumstances that have presented themselves. If they could do better, they would. This is why asking if the person has disappointed you or others in the past in a similar way is so enlightening and revealing. If we can recognize a pattern of behavior, then we can see through compassion that this individual is unconscious and is struggling. Compassion also helps to alleviate our anger and disappointment. Now back to the 4 questions. So now that you've discovered exactly how this person has disappointed you, what you would have preferred to have happen, and how this person has tended to treat other people in similar ways, what is it that can be done? What should we do? Well, there is one more very important question to ask ourselves. 5. How is my happiness tied to this person's behavior? Look deeply and see where you have allowed this person to affect your inner world. If you are honest, you will see that it is not the person, but you that has made yourself unhappy. You've made yourself unhappy by your interpretation of the person and by personally identifying with that story. In reality, no one and nothing has any power over you unless you give it to them. It all comes down to our perception of reality. We see what we believe. Our perception of reality influences what we focus on, process, interpret, understand, remember, and act on. This is a process that we control and has nothing to do with the other person. Our interpretation and perception of reality is 100% our own. This is why we say that all relationships, whether it is your mother or the clerk at the grocery store, are your teacher. It is you teaching you. In this way, whatever relationship happens to present themselves to you rest assured it is there to teach you something. This is a beautiful reminder that life is always giving us exactly what we need when we need it, in order to learn and grow. So now, onto the more practical side of things. What do you do when you have a difficult relationship with someone? Well, you already have a fundamental understanding of the situation by answering the first 5 questions. Now it's time to take action and communicate your thoughts to this person in a neutral way without blame. This may be difficult to do depending on the nature of your relationship or issue. So if you are experiencing high emotions, it's best to put it into writing, whatever it is that you want to express, so you can dissipate the heavy emotional energy first. Your aim is to be honest, but also neutral in your approach. There's no need to point fingers or make the other person feel bad. You are responsible for your emotions, and you must own your own feelings. However, you do have a right to communicate how this person has acted and what their behavior has brought to your awareness. For example, if a friend has disappointed you, you can tell your friend in a neutral way that when they missed your birthday party, this hurt your feelings. Although you own your feelings and are not blaming them, you would like to understand why they didn't come and what they were thinking. Ask them to please explain their thought process. Another example would be your spouse spending time with friends or family on the weekend and the fact that you are feeling left out. Though you own your feelings, it is also your responsibility to fully communicate your disappointment and ask to understand why your spouse chooses to spend their time in this way. Ask them to please explain their thought process. Most human relationships are fraught with difficulty because we assume the other person did something to us on purpose, and we are angry that they didn't think about our thoughts or feelings first. But remember, nothing anyone does is because of you. Even if they purposely and intentionally wanted to hurt you, it still has everything to do with them, their world, their perceptions, their interpretation, essentially their story, and nothing to do with you. So relationships offer us the opportunity to expand our awareness and learn to communicate clearly and honestly. We must learn to do this in a neutral and non-combative way. Be prepared to hear how they too might have felt disappointed, hurt, or even neglected. We must be willing to hear this other person out and accept responsibility for our actions. If we inadvertently hurt or disappointed this person, what are we willing to do to change? Sometimes relationships enter our lives because we help others grow, and sometimes relationships enter our lives because they help us grow. If you can start seeing all relationships as potential teachers, then we all have something to learn. Even when you appear to be guiding someone, you are also learning and growing. In this way, we are all continually evolving and maturing into better, brighter, more beautiful human beings. So just to recap, whenever you feel challenged in a relationship, remember to 1. Ask yourself the 5 key questions to help you gain greater clarity on the situation. I've listed these questions for your convenience in the description box below. 2. Learn and practice communicating in a neutral tone without blaming, shaming, or assuming. And 3. Be willing to receive feedback to further your understanding about the person and, most importantly, yourself. Let me know in the comments below how this process works for you in your relationships. If you liked this video, please hit the like button and share it. And if you're new here and are interested in learning more about the mind, personal growth, and higher awareness, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.